I'm having my 6th annual charity auction. I've got 35 items up for bid on eBay. I'll pin a link to the auction in the comments. The auction is open to U.S. residents only. 100% of the proceeds goes to the Flemington Area Food Pantry. In 2024, the pantry recorded over 20,000 visits and delivered over 3,000 food packages to homebound Hunterdon County residents. Many of us just celebrated Thanksgiving with our families and enjoyed lots of good food. I hope the proceeds from this auction can help alleviate food insecurity for some of my neighbors this holiday season. Okay, let me show you what's in this year's auction. I worked on a bunch of Pokey Thing projects this year. I made this for the You Wanna Watch Classy Brassy Challenge. I used a brass cartridge case and a wood dowel painted copper for the bullet. There's 5 of these up for bid. Speaking of You Wanna Watch, George sent me what he called the world's smallest Pokey Thing. This was a fun little project. David from West Highland Shop sent me this all haft. I replaced the broken collet with a brass ferrule and made a heat-treated high-carbon steel shaft. David also sent me this Starrett pocket scriber. This was one of my favorite projects this year. This Pexto scratch-all was a mess when I found it at a yard sale. I'm always looking for an excuse to finish a handle in Bombay mahogany. Resto Rob and a viewer named Chris sent me these 2 Pokey Things. I replaced the steel ferrules with brass cartridge cases. I also worked on a few screwdrivers this year. Bob from Sandy Hook sent me this crescent screwdriver. I found this Her brand Van Chrome screwdriver at a flea market. George from You Wanna Watch sent me this interesting MTF screwdriver. This North Brothers Yankee number 130A also came from George. It's in almost new old stock condition. I'm including 5 bits with it. I found this beefy perfect handle screwdriver at the flea market. I tried to give it an antique look. I went for the same look on this H.D. Smith perfect handle pipe wrench. I also had fun working on pocket knives this year. This Camillus electrician's knife was in my annual Flitzmas video. This old timer was a back to basics project. I replaced the damaged scales on this old Camillus with historic wood Chris from the UK gave me. I made this pair of whittling knives from deer antlers. These Boker short chain needle nose pliers were also featured in a Back to Basics episode. I experimented with a rust blue finish on these Channellock 426 pliers. I wanted to include a couple items from Paul's toolbox full of vintage tools. This pair of Proto 239 slip joint wrench pliers are in excellent condition. I gave this Diston Triumph saw set a quick dip in Evaporust. I hope to get into Paul's toolbox a little more in the coming months. This little oil can was a fun project. The camera makes the paint look orange, but is actually red in person. This Planet Junior farm implement wrench was my 4th of July project. And this International Harvester Pitman arm wrench was my Evaporust D-Rust December 2024 entry. I found this little Belknap bluegrass hammer at the flea market. This Starrett combination square was a popular project. I'm proud of this brass scribe head I made. I found this Bonnie ratchet at Jacktown. This Goodell Pratt tap holder was also a Jacktown find. Here's a couple of plumb bobs. One's brass and the other is steel. Big Vic's workshop donated one of his famous wood spirit birdhouses to the auction. My friend Dave donated 2 items to the auction. Dave is an avid woodturner, and he made 2 of these Wood River 7-function ratcheting screwdriver kits. This one is spalted tamarind with a Babinga inset. And this one is zebra wood with a Purple Heart inset. Thank you to Dave and Vic for their donations to the auction. And thank you to Paul for the toolbox full of tools. And to George from You Want to Watch and David from West Highland Shop. And all the other generous folks that have sent me items to work on. It was fun reviewing many of the projects I've worked on this year. I hope the auction raises a lot of money for the Flemington Area Food Pantry. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I made a playlist of the projects included in this year's auction for those that might have missed a project or two, or those who want to re-watch before bidding.